This is Detroit's Morning Answer with John Anthony on FM 92.7 and AM 1400. The Answer.
Can you imagine you if you're in your house or if you are out and about and your kids are home or somebody's in the house and that's what you see and hear and those are the calls that you get, that people are outside protesting in front of your house? When you stand for something real, the opposition doesn't just argue. It attacks. Representative Angela Rigas found that out firsthand when far-left extremists trespassed onto her property to intimidate her for co-sponsoring legislation, get this, to crack down on illegal immigration. Instead of backing down, she stood up. She filed a police report, turned over the footage, and sent a message to Michigan and beyond. We don't bow to mob tactics. But her fight isn't just one about protests. It's about the future of a state that finally passed a budget, that cuts spending, protects taxpayers, and restores sanity to Lansing. She represents Michigan's 79th District. She chairs the Oversight Subcommittee on Weaponization of State Government. She serves as vice chair of the Child Welfare Oversight Subcommittee and sits on both the full Oversight Committee and the Committee on Regulatory Reform. Representative Rigas, welcome back to Detroit's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning.
When I saw the odd video, I think Dave Bondi had posted it, and I had to share it right away. Representative Rigas, let's start with the incident at your home. Mm-hmm. Walk us through what happened when those protesters showed up. What did they do, and what went through your mind in that moment as both not just a legislator, but as a mother?
Well, it was quite the incident, and I woke up to the chanting and the drums that you played on air, and I didn't realize what was going on at first. I'm hearing these noises and stuff, and I look out my window, and I'm like, what the heck? There's people here at our home. I'm home with 3 of my 4 kids, and my first gut reaction was to go outside and engage with them and have a conversation and get a better understanding of why they felt compelled to come to my home and protest. But my children were terrified. And, my children were begging me, Mom, please don't go outside. Please don't go outside. And so I didn't. I stayed in the home and I'm just going back through my head, right? Yeah. Like trying to keep my kids calm, and I'm trying to stay calm for them. And then my phone is blowing up from all of our neighbors. We live in a quiet, sleepy little community in Caledonia, and my neighbors were just like, are you okay? What is happening at your home? And there were 4 calls to 911. I called 911, and then my one of my sons also had called 911. Yeah. So basically, they came to they were in my yard. They were on my sidewalk. My sidewalk goes from like my driveway to my door. We don't have a sidewalk on our street or anything. Yeah. And we're in the country. and I'm looking out the window from my living room, and then all I see is black. They put this big poster board over my window, so I couldn't see out. And then I posted it on social media. It was like, Representative Rigas, we're giving you an opportunity to co-sign to rescind your sponsorship on these bills. Like, we're giving you the opportunity. And then I was supposed to sign this poster board they said was a document, which is clearly not a document. And then they all signed their names.
Yeah. How long did they stay? I mean, when the police, how long did it take for the police to get there? And how long did they stay?
The protesters were there for over an hour of that, which felt like a lot longer, right, with all the chaos and stuff going on. I did open my window and I did say, get the heck off my deck.
Are you being PC for the radio?
Yes, I know, right? And yeah, the audio was removed from some of those videos.
Yeah.
And I said, get off my property, get off my sidewalk, get off my deck.
Yeah.
And I said, you're trespassing and get the heck out of here. And then they'd put some signs in my yard as well. But they knew what they were doing, right? Because they put those signs right on the easement. When I told them to leave my property, they were testing me. So they went out in the street and then they were impeding traffic, which during that hour, only one car came through and then turned around and went the other way because they couldn't get through. And then my neighbor came over and he had to honk his horn to get through the crowd. He parked at the neighbor's house and then walked over here and he sat on my porch, like protecting my home for me.
I love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And, he's a veteran as well. Like he fought, for our country and he's not afraid to go toe to toe with these kind of animals.
Yeah, I'd have been out there too. But I probably wouldn't have been PC at all. Not when it comes to this. No. What was I going to say? Why you? Why pick you out of all the Republicans who are on this bill? Why did they pick up you? You think this was organized? Are you going to get to the bottom of who organized this and who paid for this?
I know who it is.
Oh.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
Yeah.
I know who the guy that runs this far left anti-ICE organization in Kent County. There were I scrubbed through social media afterwards, and then people were seeing other things and send them to me. There was a young lady from Kalamazoo here. She was recording it from the street, recording my license plate number on my car and all of these things. I did the same thing to them, though.
Yeah.
I recorded everything. I've got a license plate, in one of my photos, and I don't care.
Yeah, well, they were on your property. They were there
exactly
to intimidate you. Do you have a no trespassing sign up on the lawn or anywhere where it's visible?
No, because I think it's ridiculous that you have to have a no trespassing sign on your private property.
Well, it sounds like you got a law you need to change then.
It's my property. And then this lady had the audacity to tell me that I'm living on stolen property.
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, honey, I'm pretty sure I pay this mortgage every month. This isn't stolen property. So these people are insane. They want our country filled with illegal aliens, and I am grateful that President Trump is cracking down on this madness because these people, not immigrants, right? Not legal immigrants that we embrace in this country, but these illegal aliens coming into our country, violating our laws, committing violent crimes, bringing drugs and fentanyl in this country, they need to be stopped. And President Trump is the only president that has the bravery to take on this issue.
Yeah. What's the bill? What's the bill in question that they were so against? What did the bill call for the Michigan legislative body to pass? What was so controversial?
It's stuff that shouldn't even be controversial. It's stuff that we shouldn't even have to be addressing. Things like no benefits for illegal aliens. If you harbor an illegal alien, you're committing a crime. If you aid an illegal alien, you're committing a crime. Those should not have to be even addressed by us.
Right.
Those are already things that are illegal.
Wow. Now, your oversight committee has been digging into transparency, bureaucratic power, and how state government can be used against citizens. What have you uncovered that most Michigan voters don't realize is happening inside their own state agencies?
Oh my goodness. I only have a half hour, right?
Yes, that's all.
Like, this is an all-day thing, all-day topic. So we started out our term with a lot of focus on Dana Nessel, and that has kind of transferred over to Maine oversight because the issues with our attorney general and how she's weaponized her office needs to go through Maine oversight because there's so much there, from targeting her political opponents to only prosecuting Republicans. even protecting the Secretary of State as far as, when Jocelyn Benson violated campaign finance. And then it shifted a lot to the DNR. People were calling into the office, emailing me about issues that they were having with the DNR. People are feeling targeted. So we've had a few hearings on like DOG, the Detroit Animal Welfare Group. On November 12th, we have a hearing on the duck sanctuary over on the east side. And the main reason that the people are upset with the DNR is there doesn't appear to be uniform rules. There appears to be a lot of retaliation. I mean, you heard a lot about Peanut, right? The fawn. So we had sent a letter to Governor Whitmer, along with some of my colleagues, demanding that this animal not be euthanized over a arbitrary date of October 1st for release. And, a lot of the rules that the DNR has made up have been with no input from the stakeholders. By stakeholders, I'm referring to veterinarians. I'm referring to wildlife rehabilitators. They come up with these dates, and Peanut was a good example of this awful deadline, and the fact that Peanut was found almost dead in someone's yard. Oh. So they brought her in, they rehabilitated her, and she was very slow to recover. She was probably born a little late. She wasn't blind. A lot of the news media is reporting she's blind. She's vision impaired, most likely had a head injury, maybe struck by a car. So she had needed a couple more weeks. That's all she needed. But due to the fact that she was here sight impaired, she could not be released in the wild. Now, the DNR refused to give that specific kind of permit to DOG because they had charges pending. The charges pending were for baiting. They didn't bait. They gave soft release to a couple fawns because they also were not ready by that October deadline, like a while ago, like not even this year. Yeah. So it's just over and over and over again. We're getting calls and complaints from the people of Michigan saying, hey, I'm just trying to do this, but the government is telling me this, and it's not an appropriate rule, or people just feel like these departments are making it up as they go. And if you put anything on social media like DOG did, questioning the DNR, then it appears that the DNR is coming down harder on them. So we're just trying to bring that back. I would love to see the rulemaking abilities removed from these departments, because these departments have gotten so powerful.
Wait, so the department writes their own rules? See, we have, I forget what it's, we have JCAR, Joint Committee on some on Rules in Illinois, but the department gets to write their own rules?
Yes.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy. And there's so many people in the state that are just pushing back and questioning, like, why is the government able to do this to me?
And there's no legislative oversight for that? Do the legislative?
Hasn't been.
Wow.
I mean, so with Speaker Hall, thank goodness, he's really restructured how we've done oversight. Yeah. In the fact that we have all these extra subcommittees, and we have worked very closely, not only with policy, but appropriations. So if you're a department that's not doing things correctly, we can write policy, and we can, if you're not going to comply with bringing back transparency and being honest, then we can hit you with appropriations. Yeah. So there's a consequence there that previously they did not have. And you know why I ran for office, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. When you were shut down.
Yes. So, I mean, I literally ran for office because I was tired of government overreach and the abuse of these departments. And so when Speaker Hall put me on, these oversight committees, I've just been thriving in this area.
Wow. I want to get your take. Jocelyn Benson had this to say when the federal government wanted to get the voter rolls. I'd love to get your take on this.
There's something important going on right now that you need to know. Something that directly affects you and over 8 million Michiganders whose private, personal information is in our state's driving records and voter rolls. The United States Justice Department is trying to get me, Michigan's chief election officer, to turn over your Social Security number, driver's license number, and voting information. I told them they can't have it.
Now, Representative, the federal government already has that information. What they don't have is the voter rolls, right? I mean, what can the House do to push this out and ensure that what President Trump's administration is requesting, they get it?
Jocelyn Benson is already in a lot of trouble with the House. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at
Enough
that.
said, huh?
Yes.
One more thing. I had the Speaker Hall on Monday, I believe it was. And how did you guys have a budget decrease in this budget passing? I looked. I still can't find. I mean, as it relates to split government, where a split government and the Republicans control one form of it, saw a decrease in spending. How did you guys pull this Houdini out?
It wasn't me. I was not on appropriations, and I give these guys all of the credit in the world, because could you ever imagine that Governor Whitmer would sign anything that said, no tax on overtime and Social Security and tips? Could you ever imagine that would happen?
No. Government saying...
Governor Whitmer, she worked with us, and it was surprising in many ways, but at the end of the day, we're required to pass a balanced state budget. The Senate budget was out of balance and full of just the normal handouts that the Democrats like to do, because they don't understand how the economy actually works. They only understand handouts and quote unquote free stuff, free money, which is your money. So when Senator Brinks really refused to come to the table until probably 2 weeks before that deadline, Governor Whitmer was feeling the heat and feeling the pressure. And so she ended up working with us to pressure the Senate to come to the table. And the one thing that they really wanted was, when we wanted to get rid of the categoricals and just increase the per pupil funding and let these schools decide for themselves if they needed free lunches or not. Yeah. We never took away free lunches. The money was there. It was just rolled into the per pupil funding. That was one thing that was really kind of a deal maker for the Democrats, is to just bring back that category.
Yeah.
So the money was already there. So, okay, just bring it back then, and let's get the free, the no tax on tips, Social Security, and overtime.
Wow.
It was great. It was great. And appropriations did great. Speaker Hall was amazing.
I definitely agree. We got to leave it right there. But I'm actually going to be interviewing next Jaden Bennett from Turning Point, Southeast Michigan. I don't know if you heard of what happened in Royal Oaks. Royal Oak High School. They tried to start a chapter there, and they were denied. So that's telling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. But you know what? They can't stop us. They can't stop our movement, because we're for freedom.
Yeah.
We're not like the people that were at my home. We're not about destroying things and trespassing and getting things done based on intimidation and violence. We're about sharing the message of God and country, and we already know we win the battle. We already know we win the war, but my goodness, the battles are ugly. We're not afraid, and we're not going to stand down.
And just think, I think the most amazing thing about the shutdown, Angela Rigas would have still been minding her business with her business had they not shut her down. That is an amazing story.
So much easier.
That is an amazing story. Where can people follow you, though? Are you on social media?
Thank you. I'm on Facebook. I don't like X.
I don't either.
It's really crazy there. Facebook, State Representative Angela Rigas, and also you can go to Rep Rigas on the legislature and follow what I'm doing there as well.
Yeah. All right. She's State Representative.
Thank you.
Angela Rigas, serving Michigan's 79th District. Thanks so much for joining us on Detroit's Morning Answer.
Thank you so much, and happy Halloween.
Yeah, have a good one. We'll be right back.